Okay, so we should be live right now. This is the live coverage of extremely dangerous major hurricane Beryl approaching the southern Windward Islands is an extremely dangerous Category 4 on the Saffir-Simpson scale. If the loop in the stream freezes, that's just how the browsers want to work. Whenever I do not focus on the window, it keeps deleting it, keeps pausing it. Either way, there you can see it on your screen, everybody. I originally was not supposed to be hosting this stream, so not very well prepared, but whatever. The setup works and the stream works, so that's all that matters. Anyway, here's the satellite loop of extremely dangerous major hurricane Beryl moving towards the southern Windward Islands. The Windward Islands are here. Landfall, according to the best track. Okay, it's not there. Floater is just recentered. But the Windward Islands are here, and landfall is expected within the next hour or two. And you can see the storm has recently recovered from an eye wall replacement cycle, and has then been building up its strength. I'm not sure what the floater on tropical tippets is doing here. It's kind of broken. But you can see here the convective burst wrapping around the center now as it's recovering from the eye wall replacement cycle that it had overnight. And I'm pretty sure when this eye wall replacement cycle happened, some people were already saying this is like a bust or whatever, or that this is a saving grace for the Windward Islands, but the exact opposite appears to be the case. And frankly speaking, it was always going to have an eye wall replacement cycle because Beryl was such a compact system, but being a mature, well-developed, and healthy major hurricane in favorable conditions, it was always going to hit the ground running again right after. It was always going to have a smooth eye wall replacement. It was always going to go bonkers, basically, right after completing the cycle. And that is exactly what happened. And look where we are now. The eye is symmetricizing again. It's becoming very circular now. And it's having this ring of deep convection around the eye as it is approaching the islands. And recon data that I will now pull up on screen indicates that it is probably making a run at Category 5 on the Saffir-Simpson scale. You heard me right. The National Hurricane Center just upgraded this to a Category 4, re-upgraded this to a Category 4 a few hours ago. And now it appears as though it is probably making a run at an unprecedented Category 5 on the Saffir-Simpson scale. That is because of this. What I'm going to show you here is what the hurricane hunters found, Reconnaissance found in the cyclone. There you are. Yeah, this is not well centered. Hold on. Everybody, hold on. I don't want to mess with the photo that we have here too much. So I'm going to open a second window capture to... I'm just going to switch to that. But yeah, that is a very, very uncharted territory that we are having here. For context, oh yeah, that is not what I wanted to do. See, now this is too large. Okay, bear with me here. You saw the mess of tabs that I always have. Gonna move this downwards, but yeah, this is uncharted waters. I'm trying to keep talking while I'm adjusting some things about my setup as best as I can. This is uncharted waters. For a reminder, Hurricane Beryl is the is the earliest major hurricane, is the earliest Category 4 on record. It beat Hurricane Dennis from the crazy season that was 2005 by as much as over a week. There's never been a major hurricane of this strength in the month of August. And this is a recon data I wanted to show. This is what the hurricane hunters of the NOAA hurricane hunters found on their latest pass through the center. On the left here, you see MSLP and flight level winds. That is, the aircraft has an anemometer on it that measures the wind speed, and then, subtracts the aircraft's forward motion. I think I can put this a bit closer to this microphone, and then measures the forward motion, subtracts the forward motion out of it, and measures the flight level winds. And then on the right-hand side, you see what is called SFMRs. Those are estimated surface winds based on a complicated technique that I don't need to explain right now. It's beaming, or not fully explained, but basically it's beaming microwaves at the sea surface to estimate the sea surface temperature that way, microwave, like the microwave oven uses. And it basically measures the amount of microwave data that is, microwave light that is reflected back. And based on that, it determines how much foaming there is on the sea surface, so the waves. And then, based on how many waves there are and how big they are on the sea surface, it estimates the wind speeds. That's amazing science that this instrument does to estimate the winds at the surface, where, of course, the aircraft is not flying. It's flying at an altitude of, as you can see, about 7,300... no, that's the geopotential height in meters. It's flying at about 700 millibar flight level, which I think is about 3 kilometers in altitude. But anyway, neither of these two is a perfect estimate for the surface winds. The surface winds are usually weaker at the than the winds aloft. But yeah, what it found was non-suspect SFMRs of over 130 knots. I think it was like 133, 135 knots SFMRs. This is not perfect. It's not a perfect estimate. So usually you would calculate this, you would weigh this with the flight level winds. There's a math conversion you need to do. The flight level winds at 700 millibar are usually 110% of the winds at the surface. Depends on mixing ratios and so on, but usually rule of thumb is that. So the flight level winds would support surface winds of around 121 knots. And then the SFMRs, I think, were around 135 knots, actually, which is like Category 5. Basically, Category 5 starts at 137 knots normally, and National Hurricane Center would run that up to 140. So if you were to average this out, you just go to 135, and then you divide that by 2. So that's 121.5 plus 135 divided by 2. Okay. Anyway, it would come out to about 125 knots, but it is stronger than it was on the first pass. So it's making around a Category 5. But in fact, so we need to weigh this. Well, if we look at the dropsonde that it has, it is the dropsonde. This is basically like a direct measurement from the surface. It measured a wind speed of 132 knots as well. It would be just 5 knots shy of Category 5, which starts at 140 knots, or what I think 250 kilometers per hour. And again, I want to reemphasize, if this makes a Category 5 landfall, that would be absolutely and utterly unprecedented. It's already doing unprecedented things here. So, again, I said this in a video we posted yesterday. I am an atheist. I don't pray. But if any of you watching is of the praying type, if you are Christian or Muslim or Jewish, or I don't care what faith you are, if you believe in some sort of faith that believes in the power of prayer, then I think it may be worth praying for the people in the southern Windward Islands, for the people of Grenada, for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines in particular, because they are in for a historic tropical cyclone. This is National Hurricane Center describing this as an extremely dangerous Category 4, and they're not. I said this in a video too. The National Hurricane Center, when they say extremely dangerous, they mean extremely dangerous. They're not sensationalists. They're not using this kind of wording lightly at all. So yeah, there's new recon data with I can't even read this, to be frank. So just sent me new recon data that is absolutely insane. Max wind speed 120 knots. Maximum wind speed 142 knots according to this one recon data here, where it says Flight 5 into Beryl found sustained surge winds up to 133 knots. Yeah. And then pressure of 953 millibars. So I'm currently reading some information. Oh, this is an older video. I'm currently reading some information out here. But either way, very, very, very dangerous hurricane. I should probably watch in the YouTube chat whether there are any comments, concerns. But yeah, it is making around a Category 5 on the Saffir-Simpson scale, which I want to drive home again is unprecedented. In the month of June, it's now July, but even in July, it's very rare to get storms this strong, especially ones coming out of the MDR, coming from east of the Lesser Antilles. Development around this time of the year tends to be homegrown, tends to be in the Caribbean, tends to originate in the Caribbean, the Gulf of Mexico. This is very abnormal. It's fueled by very high surface temperatures. And yeah, this is an historic... Oops. Okay, I'm just not going to mess with that. That is an historic event. Like the Lesser Antilles, or this part of the Lesser Antilles, has never seen a hurricane of this magnitude. Anybody in the Lesser Antilles, if anybody's still able to watch this, I'm pretty sure they still have power. I'm watching webcams right now. I would usually not say that, but in this case, it's probably worth being scared because this is a scary, scary storm. This is not something these islands are used to. It's going to be an absolutely devastating pass through the islands. If there's one silver lining, and it always sounds so callous when you say this, but it is that the northern half of Beryl, which is the stronger half, will pass through the Grenadines, which are relatively unpopulated. Of course, for the people who do live there, it is going to be terrible, and some of these islands may be destroyed to a large degree, but it could be... It's still better. Again, it sounds callous to say that, but if this northern half struck Grenada or St. Vincent, the main island, it would be objectively worse. That being said, if you're in Grenada or Carriacou, someone told me yesterday how to pronounce it. I already forgot again. I'm so sorry. Which is that northern island that belongs to Grenada. You still are facing possibly major hurricane force winds. You are still certainly facing a direct hit from this hurricane. Direct hit meaning you're getting hurricane force winds. And this means you are going to be in a life-threatening situation. So don't go outside. For goodness sake, stay indoors. Even at St. Vincent, which is probably... which could also still receive hurricane force winds. The main islands of St. Vincent... for goodness sake, stay indoors. Do not, under any circumstances, and probably if you are in the Grenadines in particular, if you're in these islands right here, you probably know what the Grenadines are. If you live in the Grenadines, it may be worth handling this like a intense tornado, because this is, like, we're talking 250 kilometer per hour winds potentially here on some of these islands with the latest recon data. So you should probably go to an interior room on the lowest floor of your building. I don't think basements are particularly widespread in the Lesser Antilles. If I'm mistaken, you do have a basement. That's the best spot to be. Like, this is essentially a giant, strong to intense tornado approaching the islands. And those who receive the worst of the eye wall will be in a situation where you may not be safe anywhere in your house. I mean, again, it's really... But again, only the best place to be when this hits is probably, as I said, an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Put on a helmet or whatever. Or a mattress over top of your head. And a famous adage, going in a bathtub. And of course, only holds true if your bathroom is indeed an interior room. But yeah, this is like a tornado, basically. In terms of the impact, it's going to be brutal. But of course, if you're in an interior room, the storm surge is going to be a problem. Right now, the winds still seem relatively calm. You may have about half an hour before you shouldn't be outside anymore. If you are in a low-lying area and you know a friend who lives higher up, run to there. If it's within a 15 to 30 minute running distance, run as fast as you can, because you don't want to be in a low-lying area, because, as I said, to be protected from the winds, it should be on an interior room, but then you may end up being trapped by the storm surge or the flooding. It's just a bad situation. It's a bad situation. Yeah, I don't know. There's not really a lot you can do that will ensure your survival, frankly speaking. There are things you can do to maximize your chances, but there is not a whole lot. Actually, this one's on Barbados. There's one on Barbados. There's one on. There are 2 weapons on. No, these ones are from Barbados. I don't think. Oh, this is from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I don't know which island. I'm watching 4 webcams here right now. Yeah, as I said, it's not a good situation at all. At all. Anyway, I should probably look in the YouTube chat now. Am I right? Currently, there's this is a panel here. So yeah, bad situation. I'm now gonna add to the viewer count because I'm gonna go and look at the live stream chat. There's no one in live stream chat. This was your one chance to put something in the chat, and now I will probably forget to look at the chat again for the next 15 minutes or so. So, what can I do? What can I show that is interesting? Add webcams to a live stream, I've been told. Okay, that will require some juggling, but I will try to. Problem is, anything that I'm prepared to show on stream. But I have the webcams here, so I will just copy them over the URL, and I will do a window capture. Yeah, I'm currently communicating with, I think, I'm not sure if he's communicating with me directly. Anyway, as I said, I already have the webcams, and now this is gonna be a mess. Okay, I'm currently trying to shrink the window size. I think that is a decent place for the webcams. I don't know. Oh, that's all I wanted to do. That's not the correct. There it is. Probably this is the best spot to put the webcams. So yeah. Now that we have that out of the way, just shrink them a little bit more. So those 4 webcams. The top left one, I'm not even sure how well you can see them. Don't want to make them any larger though. The top left one is from Basil's Bar in St. Vincent and Grenadines, if I knew where it was. And the other one is from Cafe Luna at Christchurch, Barbados. And then the bottom left webcam just says "Las Ansas Dariet." I have no clue where it is, and it doesn't say, so probably Google. And the southeastern one from St. Lawrence Cap in Barbados. Right now, you see the winds on top left cam picking up, probably about tropical storm force. Nothing too serious yet. But it should probably pick up in the near future. I'm currently thinking about what else cool things I can show. I can show you the recon data that we see. I'm not sure is this the surface wind or the wind at 0.5 kilometers. Okay. So yeah, this is great. Let's open the wrong thing. Anyway, what I was trying to show you is the wind process recon data for the winds. So yeah, there it is. You can see this is at 0.5 kilometers. And now, somewhere here, this is not the correct tab. Okay, this is not even the tab I was trying to look at. I was trying to prevent what I wanted to do anyway. So you can see here this is not at the surface, by the way. This is recon data, wind speed at 0.5 kilometers, maximum wind speed 142 knots. So that will be comfortably in the category 5 range. However, if you wanted to down convert these, that would probably be lower. And they also have this cool plot, which shows us the reflectivity. So this is, I'm pretty sure this is the straight reflectivity from the aircraft mounted radar. And you see there is perfect eye wall around the center, and you have the rain bands coming in here. And in case anybody was hoping it was maybe going to pull another eye wall replacement cycle, I can tell you straight up, there's nothing here I can see that points another eye wall replacement cycle on this radar. This is a reflectivity of 2 kilometers. But yeah, it is probably a high-end category 4 at this point. And I will now be a little bit more quiet for a very short while Googling something. But not Googling something. Take something out of my bookmarks here. Bookmark manager, because there's this handy PDF from the National Hurricane Center. This one is already 10 years old, so I don't even know if this is the newest scientific state of the art. But they give us conversion tables. 0.5 kilometers is about 1,000 feet, maybe. This one for 1,000 feet. 1,000 feet is only 0.3 kilometers. It's 80%, and it's only 75% at 925 millibar. Which is 925 millibar. I'm looking at a sounding for guidance. Yeah, that's not a sea level. Okay. 925 millibar is about more or less a kilometer. So great. But yeah, this would actually imply the wind speeds are lower in category 4. Either way. This is not a thing I want to see. First, the Beryl's first. Okay, I'm stealing this from the Weather Channel, not the graphic, of course. The okay, maybe this could have. Okay, maybe now I'm gonna pause it on this one so I can look at Discord chat real quick. First category 4 on record for June. Earliest category 4 on record, and of the previous earliest was Dennis. Okay, this was it. Severe wind gusts in Latvia. Cool. Yeah. Now I just drag this window back over to my screen, and I'm dragging it over to the other screen because I'm trying to see the radar data. And this bomb. On radar. This I don't think he does. I don't think he has a Barbados radar. No, he does not. But Cyclonic WX has satellite and radar. Just look at the floater thumbnail. Really incredible structure for Beryl right now. The Warrock, ZER, visible. I'm gonna change the floater radar to satellite visible to give some variety. I was trying to get the radar data in. I can't find a good source for it right now for radar or radar. Radar Meteorological Service. Actually, rain viewer landing page. Live radar. All the countries. Barbados. Okay. Cool. Okay. I was trying to look at the radar data, but I unfortunately forgot where to find it. Trinidad, Tobago, Bermuda, Barbados, Bahamas, Cayman Islands. No. I said radar current down. Sorry, readers not have any. So access denied. Brilliant. 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 Caribbean radar. Meteorological Department of Carriacou. Okay, finding the radar data for this is a lot harder than I thought. Can I? Maybe there, Barbados radar. And while this is hopefully going low, let's look at the visible satellite here real quick. Here's Barbados up there. And look, it's only about an hour or so from landfall now. Again, it looks like it's going to make landfall on this island here, which is called Carriacou. It actually stayed on the visible one because the infrared one was glitching out. This one isn't. Yeah, Barbados radar is loading for me right now. I'm going to pull that up on screen whenever it decides to load. So this is the island that's going to make landfall. It's going to be the island of Carriacou in the which belongs to Grenada. It looks like it's gonna be on a beeline towards the landfall there, actually. So that's probably an hour from now away. I wish I had a webcam on Carriacou, but I do not. So that is problematic. Yeah, that's what I thought. So no. I mean, I suppose. I already want to show at least something from the radar. I will just steal Jim Cantori's screenshot. Oh, Barbados, right? Since I decided I was going to steal Jim Cantori's screenshot, it decided that it would load for me. So that's brilliant. No criticism for the radars, Barbados radar. Now I'm trying to get it to load again. Barbados Weather Service is not trying to throw any shade at them. It's a very hard situation for them. The web traffic is very high. Anyway, I was about to make a reference about stealing people's screenshots, but I'm going to leave the WX community criticism out of this. Anyway, you see here the structure's absolutely beautiful. You have mesovortices. You actually see them in the eye of Major Hurricane Beryl. Absolutely stunning. Very symmetrical CDO. I mean, this is textbook. Like if you put this on Wikipedia with this image and set as a category 5 right now, like a false edit, I would not even question it. Speaking of a category, National Hurricane Center is not. Oh, there it is. National Hurricane Center, 10 a.m. Position update. National Hurricane Center. What are they saying? Oh, this is the. Okay. See, this is the problem here, because They are saying eye wall of extremely dangerous Category 4 Beryl nearing the southern Windward Islands. Beryl is nearing the southern Windward Islands and expected to make landfall within the next hour or two. This is an extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation. Take action now to protect your life. Residents in the Grenadine Islands and Carriacou Island should not leave their shelter as winds will rapidly increase within the eye wall of Beryl. Remain in place through the passage of these life-threatening conditions and do not venture out in the eye of the storm. A weather station located on Barbados and Grantley Adams International Airport recently recorded a sustained wind of 52 miles per hour, 83 kilometers per hour, and a gust of 60 miles per hour. National Hurricane Center still says that it has winds of only 215 kilometers per hour at a pressure of 956 millibars. I think it's very possible, it's probably will not be upgraded to a Category 5, even if it is a Category 5 before making it to the islands. Either way, Category 4, Category 5 doesn't matter. It's very, very dangerous. I think there's one of those cases will probably be post-season. Like Ian, for instance. Ian was upgraded post-season, right? But yeah, let's stick to the key messages for anybody in these islands, which is what I just read. And you should listen to the National Hurricane Center because they know what's best. And they are not trying to manipulate you. Yeah. Just requoting a tweet here from Jeff Barardelli, which I'm not going to put on screen. Watching history again, not sure where the storm will level off, but it seems likely at least high-end Cat 4 once it's done deepening today. Worst case scenario for islands that have no experience of a storm of this magnitude being so far south on the island chain. That is true. The only thing that really compares to this is in this area is Hurricane Ivan, which passed south of Grenada in 2004 as a Category 3, or Hurricane Allen, which was a bit further north, passed between St. Lucia and St. Vincent as a Category 4. Similar intensity to Beryl is at the moment. I'm looking at Discord here, so the floor is frozen on whatever. Unfortunately, Hurricane Beryl, this is from Dr. Levi Cowan from Topical Tidbits fame. Unfortunately, Hurricane Beryl's eye wall replacement cycle completed very quickly overnight, and its core has already reached strength while also being a little larger than yesterday. That is also another thing to consider. The eye is quickly approaching the island of Carriacou, part of Grenada. Hope everyone stays safe in the Windward Islands today. Again, I cannot reiterate this enough. This is an extremely dangerous storm. Like the National Hurricane Center said, again, I'm not of the praying type, but if you are, well, you should probably do so. Okay. There. So now I can show you the radar loop. Let me check whether it's good in focus. It is. And quote unquote show you the radar loop. You can see having some technical difficulties at the Barbados Weather Service, although I'm not sure how the this is terrible. It's still loading in. Maybe it was not quite time. Actually, no. Okay, whatever. So here you see the radar loop of extremely dangerous Major Hurricane Beryl. Again, here you see this area of yellow and orange. That's the eye wall of Major Hurricane Beryl. You see all this banding, these showers on the east side. You can see it looks like Barbados got away fairly cleanly here with its stuff, because they're only getting some of the very outer showers. So if you're on Barbados, you have already experienced the worst of this storm. That's good news for people on Barbados. The thick of it is over, so to speak, and you are now emerging out the other side of this, you got away relatively okay. If I zoom this up a bit north, you can also see that if you are on Tobago, which is right here, you should also now be out of the worst. The storm is moving away from you, but you got it considerably worse in Barbados because you are now in the outer rain band still, and flooding will be a concern on Tobago as this moves through. But if you are in the Grenadine Islands, if you are on Carriacou, then conditions will rapidly deteriorate. You see the eye wall is maybe about 50 kilometers at most to the east of your location. Currently having no controls here for whatever reason. Oh no, I do. Is this a control? Cancel. And draw a rectangle. That is cool. Oh, I should have clicked this earlier. Anyway, I don't know what's the... Okay. I don't know what's the deal is right now with this, because I don't have any control right now. Barbados radar. I have to like pause the radar loop. Either way. Oh, no, I started reloading it. Okay, we're going back to the side here. I should probably actually put Discord over to this window here. So, yeah, okay. Reloading, it was a mistake. Whenever you have the website up, be crazy. Josh Morgan saying, Category 4 Hurricane Beryl just about to cross the Windward Islands. Iowa is solid. It's small and moving fast, so it'll pack a swift hard punch to a few islands from there. It's going to speed. It's going to spend the next few days crossing the Caribbean Sea. Oh, now I'm pulling up his tweet. Oh, I can't. He edited it. He edited it? Okay. Cool. I was gonna retweet it. Okay. So yeah, very, 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 very bad. Okay, time to do what I should have done earlier and look at the YouTube chat. Okay, is there still lightning in Beryl? Good question. If you are still there, and I'm sorry, as I said earlier, I'll probably forget to look at the stream chat every now and then. There is indeed, well, depends. It really depends on how you define is there still lightning in Beryl. So oh god. Because I'm pretty sure you were referring to probably more so eyewall lightning. And you see there's no eyewall lightning in Beryl anymore right now, but there is still some lightning in the outer bands, which usually doesn't mean anything. So the answer to the question is practically no. There is currently no lightning in Beryl, at least no lightning that is meaningful in a way. And there's some, I think I also saw some lightning flashing up. I don't know, it's like down here in the outer rain bands. But yeah, so far no lightning. All right, now no lightning in the eye wall. It doesn't necessarily mean it's not strengthening anyway. But yeah. So I'll see what I do I haven't done before. Hope I do not regret this. I'm pretty sure our benevolent dictator owner will like this. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna advertise on my Twitter, so give me 1 moment, because we need use. Historic major hurricane Beryl. Again, now I should probably, no, you're gonna hear the alarm. Send me a reminder every 5 minutes, look in the chat. But questions, concerns, statements. I don't know if anybody watching this from one of these islands, give us a shout. How is it? What are you experiencing right now? I have 4 webcams up. I have them on stream, but have no webcam from Carriacou, for instance. So again, if anybody living in the Lesser Antilles or knows someone who lives in the Lesser Antilles, also feel free to post it in chat. Questions, concerns, testimonies. It was folding for Grenada and Vincent and the Grenadines. And while concerns are folding for Grenada. Okay. So yeah, as I said, questions, concerns, testimonies. It's only a matter of time at this point. You are not going to want to be outside again. I cannot reiterate this enough. Be indoors. Do not venture outside into the eye of the storm. Oh, I just saying something very important while trying to keep the ball rolling. Very important. The eye of this thing is very small, and that's happening from time to time. That people, when the eye comes over, they're like, oh, all of a sudden it's calm. I'm gonna go outside to assess the damage or whatever. Do not, under any circumstances, venture out into the eye unless you absolutely have to, for whatever reason. Like, you have to stay inside. The eye is gonna be very short. I just realized I thought I would be a live stream, but I'm not. Now people can join if they want to from the team. But yeah. Again, do not venture out in the eye. The eye is very small. You're not going to have much time to be in the eye. See the mesovortices here in the eye. In fact, let me... Oh, I'm sure. My photo's no longer centered. Better centered on this. And now... Let me actually stop the loop right here. Zoom in on the plot. Big stop. Oh, look at that eye clearing out here. Measure satellite time. data type visible. I want to show the mesovortices in the eye churning away. A bit more clearly here. Okay. Zoom in. There we go. I'm gonna adjust the window here even better. I don't want to do that. So yeah. Now I'm gonna loop it again. There you go. So what I wanted to show you here is the mesovortices in the eye. So right now, if you, I don't know, if in the next hour or so the eye begins to, oh yeah, you can see there's Carriacou right there, and it's about time. There you saw some owl lightning just very briefly a while ago. Addressing the question, is there still lightning in Beryl? Yes, intermittent. Answer updated. Yeah, oh, the eye wall is hitting right now. The eye wall is hitting right now. It's making landfall any minute now, probably in the hour. Look at those mesovortices right there. Very bad situation. It's very, very bad situation overall for the islands. I pulled out now as a Weather Nerds watermark in there. Yes, it's not good. It's about to hit, as you can see right here. I'll clear the scribbles that I made now. No recon data? Anyone? Is recon from the airport Reconnaissance setting out, or is it going for another pass? This pass I only found here on the south side now. I didn't find the strong winds that they did before. What are they doing? They did came in through the northeastern side. I didn't find the strong winds they did before. Last eye pass. Pressure's now down to 953 millibar. That's new information. Okay, that's all I wanted to do. And the other recon flight is heading out. So the hurricane hunters of the Air Force, no hurricane hunters, have finished their mission in Beryl now. They're heading out. Their latest drop found a pressure of 957. So that was a few hours ago, and now it's at 953 millibar. Actually, no, it's only an hour apart. Probably an undersampling then, not actually January strengthening. Aircraft recon view mission. 22 drops on it. Only one vortex data message. I hope they had a secondary one. Summary here. Hurricane hunters of NOAA found peak estimate marks of 122 knots, and they found peak flight level winds of 133.0 knots. Minimum pressure of 953 millibars. Minimum estimated drop top pressure 957 millibars. And then there's hurricane hunters of the Air Force Reserve, which I think are still in there, maybe heading out now. There's only 953 millibar, and they found maximum. It only says peak estimate marks 118 knots on here. Either way, very bad. I'm gonna look at chat again. Mr. Peach says this thing is still strengthening, isn't it? Best we can tell, it probably is. It may have actually leveled off at this point, to be honest. But I think it's either, yeah, it's hard to tell. It's probably still strengthening though. I am in Grenada now at San George, the southwest side. Okay, so if you're still watching, Cristobal Mena, then let us know if anything changes. Anything starts to go awry. Of course, after you got yourself to safety if you aren't there already again. Again, southern end of Grenada probably should be having hurricane conditions beginning right about now. If they're not there already. All the webcams I have kind of look tranquil right now for whatever reason. Let me actually try to search for Grenada webcams because I'm not sure if we have any webcams. Cool. Life beaches, Grenada webcams in the Caribbean Islands. St. Martin, St. Lucia, Grenada webcams. Grand Ansa Beach is currently offline. That's not a good sign. Native Spirit scuba webcam. Yeah, I don't think there's any live view from Grenada right now. Kind of relatively tranquil. Should qualify what I just said. Yeah, honestly, aerial tour of Grenada. That's not a webcam. Not webcams in Grenada. It says this is offline, yeah. Yeah, not sure what's going on here. Not sure what is going on here. Intense winds at the moment. Staying. Oh, they're looking at. Oh, the webcam is back up again. There's this. Oh, it's just not live right now. What the hell? What the skivity? Oh no, I said it. I'm under strict instructions, rightly so, to not swear. This is supposed to be a family-friendly stream, which is only half of the truth. The other half of the truth is that YouTube will get mad at us if I swear. Oh yeah, there's a different webcam that I'm not gonna pull up. Sorry guys, you're not gonna see it. Oh, this is from live from Carriacou. Yeah, this is which I'm not gonna pull up because it's not live anymore. I think it died again. But yeah, I have a separate webcam that died again. Because while Daddy YouTube will get mad at us if I use naughty words, also get mad at us if I use something we don't have rights. I mean, we do have fair use, but there are certain people that have a very creative understanding of fair use. I'm getting too political here, am I? Anyway, yeah. Also, that live stream is periodically dying. Time to walk into YouTube chat again. How much estimated time is left before Beryl makes landfall on Carriacou? What is happening right now on the live stream? Oh no, it's from earlier. So I would say, so I would, based on my own estimate, I would say about an hour or two. I mean, the eye wall is hitting right now, or it's about to hit on Carriacou, and based on the different webcam, is already, and the landfall probably going to be about an hour or so, an hour, 1.5. I'm at wind picking up and heavy rain at Grand Anse, which is on the southern side. Take a look at Carriacou's webcam right now. Yeah, I know. Yeah, webcam went down. It's basically on top of Carriacou. Yeah, the eye wall is. And believe it or not, the Carriacou webcam, which is Which again, I would encourage. Oh, there's owl lightning again. See, with the new floater I have up here, I'm constantly answering the question: is there still owl lightning? Don't even need to answer because you can see for yourself. Whenever there's these yellow dots, it means there's lightning. Yeah. Again, the Carriacou live stream, when it's up, it's kind of intermittent, and I don't blame them because it's in a category 5, a category 4 hurricane. Foreshadowing. Just would encourage you to put that up, like, I don't know, separate window and then sort of windows side by side. You know what I mean? Or to give you a separate screen because, again, I'm not going to show it because I do not want our stream to be taken down. Because that is Storm Chaser footage, and God, we are not touching Storm Chaser footage on this channel. Fair user otherwise. I'm dreading to see what Carriacou looks like after Beryl passes through. Oh, I'm dreading it too, Mr. Peach. Can believe me that I'm dreading it. I'm afraid it's going to probably look not too dissimilar. Actually, no, that's wrong. What I was about to say was wrong, but it's going to look very, very bad. It's going to be a lot of damage. Again, if there's one good thing for Carriacou is that they're not getting... Are they going to get the strongest eye wall? I don't think they are. For context, the northeastern eye wall of these storms tends to be the strongest in the northeastern quadrant. And I don't think this is Carriacou right here. I don't think it's going to get the northeastern quadrant. It's going to get the southeastern quadrant and the western side. So that is the one good thing about Carriacou. So it would probably mean that they're only getting category 3 force winds maybe, or low-end category 4 as opposed to high-end category 4 winds. So that's good news for Carriacou, if you can call it that. Trying to look on the bright side here. On the other hand, this island, the Grenadines, which, excuse me, I don't know the name off the top of my head, because living in Germany, I am by no means an expert on Windward Island's geography. That little island is more screwed because they're going to get the northeastern eye wall. This Rhode Island is Carriacou. I can't actually tell. It's going to be the island's north Carriacou. Clifton is the name of the island. No, it's Ashton Island. And Meru Island. I don't even know anybody lives there. Oh no, people do live there. Oh yeah. I think every island in this area of the world is populated, so that was kind of a dumb question. This Kanuan Island. Oh my god. I'm so sorry, everybody in the Windward Islands watching this, for butchering your place names to oblivion right now, probably. But so yeah, those islands north of it, they're gonna get the northern part of the eye wall, and they're probably gonna be off worse. Which I don't think we have a webcam off, unfortunately. I should actually now take this opportunity while I have Google Maps open to look at where our island, where our webcams that we do have all are. Las Anses Dari Yet is the bottom left one. I'm pretty sure you can't even read what it says there. That is on the southwest side of Martinique. Why are you having Martinique up? That's not going to be it. Cafe Luna, Christchurch, Barbados. And then the top left webcam is also in Barbados. So the webcams we have up are actually terrible. But I can't find any better ones that our stream will not possibly be taken down for. Again, I personally believe we should be allowed to use WXJ Sing's webcam under fair use, but I do not want to even have to go through the And then, of course, the storm surge impact from Hurricane Beryl is in progress along Hastings Main Road, Christchurch. Oh, I thought, what? Oh, that is in Barbados. That is the top right webcam, actually. Members of the public are asked to stay indoors until the alert issued by the Department of Emergency Management of, is this? Beijing Firefighters Network. I am currently Beijing Firefighters Registered Charity. Okay, so I'm constantly debating on what pictures I can show on the live stream without us getting into potential copyright issues. And I think this should be fine. Again, I would not show any of these images if I. So this is from Christchurch, Barbados. You see the storm surge. Again, shout out to the Beijing firefighters for making these images. There's a charity, so I don't think they will care. You see there's some street flooding going on. Here's some storm surge coming into Barbados. Yeah. Now I want to reemphasize I would not be showing anything. I don't think we would be entitled to show under fair use, but fair use is great, but it's also not a clear-cut science, and I don't want to get us into a copyright dispute. Nope. Okay, they're not hanging out. The no hurricane hunters are back in there. Yeah, it's about to be landfall about an hour from now. Time to look in the YouTube chat again. I almost once again forgot that I'm supposed to do that. Didn't this channel say some really racist stuff about Indians? What? I don't remember that. I don't remember that. But yeah, it probably wasn't us. I don't remember. It's a classic response of the guilty usually. I mean, I don't screen anything, everything that any member of this team posts. So, well, at least as far as my knowledge goes, nope. That was not us. So the eye wall is coming in to Carriacou right now. Again, I'm currently stalling for time. Let's look at the recon here. I've already said all. I mean, I could reiterate some of the things I said. So landfall's about in an hour, or so constantly forgetting this is a live stream, and some people have not heard what I said earlier yet. Hurricane Hunters Reconnaissance. There you go. And it's currently approaching for another path on the northeastern eye wall. So the Air Force Hurricane Hunters are really digging in to this storm right now. Gonna have another northeastern eye wall pass right before landfall, which is again imminent. And it is an extremely dangerous Category 4 according to the National Hurricane Center. And again, do not venture out into the eye. Anybody on Carriacou, do not venture out into the eye of the storm, even though it is maybe tempting to do so because there is and I have another update in 20 minutes, so I believe the Hurricane Hunters will probably make it to the northeastern quadrant. I need to drink something. Oh, lightning has stopped again. It's sort of intermittent right now. On the eye wall lightning. I was gonna say I should maybe update the text up here, but about to have another update in 20 minutes, so I don't know why I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna do it anyway. Even though that is already gonna be outdated. But 20 minutes from now, and I'll have to change it again. Well, bear with me as I change the update. Change according to update. It's still 130 miles per hour. About a pressure of 956 millibars. No, it has 956 millibar pressure, and the bearing was now. So actually changed on this. That's the scroller still up to date? I think it is. Measure. So again, this is a great opportunity to read out again what the National Hurricane Center said as I update the header. The eye wall of extremely dangerous Category 4 Beryl nearing the southern Windward Islands. Beryl is nearing the southern Windward Islands and expected to make landfall within the hour or two. This is an extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation. Take action now to protect your life. Residents in the Grenadine Islands and Carriacou Island should not leave their shelter as winds will rapidly increase within the eye wall of Beryl. Remain in place through the passage of these life-threatening conditions and do not venture out in the eye of the storm. Very important, that last part. Do not venture out in the eye. Which I think, apparently it's not common sense. Eye wall of extremely dangerous Category 4 Beryl nearing the southern, actually gonna modify what they said. Actually no. Nearing the southern Windward Islands. I have too many tabs open. Objectively speaking, because I don't know what is what anymore. Southern landfall on Carriacou is imminent. Okay. That is now the new header. I wonder if I have to maybe delete some. Oh, okay. So that was. Considering current conditions, the stadium effect might be crazy on the ground. Yeah, probably true. Also, I just read that the that the member who made those comments has indeed been fired. So that has been taken care of. So yeah. Gee, I wonder why they were fired. Maybe it's because we don't associate with comments like this. I don't want to then take this to distance myself. And again, there's organization for many racism, which is why we fire people that make racist comments. Disaster, she is so big. And I guess that is true. Yeah. Oh, I should read what Ryan's, aka I saw Romeo Bravo, said below that. But it is not a reason to go outside, please. Yeah. Do not take the stadium effect being crazy from the ground as an encouragement to head outdoors. That is not good. That's not a good idea. Extreme winds associated with the eyewall of Hurricane Beryl are about to impact the Grenadines and Carriacou. Winds over 115 miles per hour. Seek shelter now. There's a live threatening situation. New comments? No new comments. Again, I am watching the chat semi-regularly. Oh yeah, that is not I mean, almost not saying that's not what I want to see, but I mean, I knew this was what we were gonna see. So the it's currently loading. Okay. I should go back to this photo. I know this photo is centered. Oh, wow, webcam's been off. I was just it was replaced for one I centered. Pusha. Okay. This will take a while to load. Let me check in on the latest recon mission. Recon. So recon is still not. Next update is in 20 minutes, and recon last position update was from now 10 minutes ago, where they were just approaching northeastern Iowa. Will recon make it into the northeastern Iowa to take another pass before National Hurricane Center makes our update? I mean, with the intercept being this close, we're probably going to wait another 10, 15, 20 minutes to do that. So yeah, National Hurricane Center probably. So the update does not come out on top of the hour, then I guess so. I'm getting a report from on a different channel from San Vincent and Grenadines that it's getting crazy down here. It was actually an hour ago. I just now saw it on my Discord, but again, here's another thing. As the eye wall is now on Carriacou, and will possibly soon, as I'm going to see this here, the eastern eye wall will probably be stronger of this hurricane. The backside is usually the strongest. That's true even when these things have already made landfall, and then they're already deteriorating. And even then, oftentimes we were saying the backside is the worst one. And for this one being still anyway, water, I mean, it's hitting some islands right now, but it's not going to care. Like, Beryl is a force of nature. It doesn't care about some small islands. So conditions are going to be even worse in the backside of the eye wall, passing through Carriacou. And now as the owl's also approaching some of the islands further north in San Vincent and the Grenadines. The best place to be if you're in the eye wall, this extremely dangerous major hurricane is probably indoors. Why can I not? It's not probably indoors. Yeah, it says something stupid there. Of course, it's indoors. What I would wanted to say is it's on an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. American viewers will recognize this as the advice for a tornado, but this is basically a tornado, right? It's like in terms of wind speeds, that is. And so you want to be as far away, removed from those winds as you can possibly be. Why can I not pause this radar loop? Yeah, if you are in Carriacou or the southern Grenadines, you should be in an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Put as many walls between yourself and this extremely dangerous major hurricane as you can possibly have. Because I would really like to stop this radar loop so I can take a screenshot of it. So I'm currently preoccupied with. Yeah, okay. I was trying to make a screenshot for my Twitter, but I cannot. Because, oh, there's a menu. There's a menu on the right-hand side. Okay. All right, so is there a menu here too? Am I just not seeing the menu? Oh, I'm blind, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so blind. Okay. Individual frames or... Okay. I thought I had found what I was searching for, but I had not. 1440 UDC, that is about... So yeah, that's just finding what I wanted to do. So yeah, you want to put as many walls between you and this hurricane as you can. Treat this basically like a hurricane. Now that's going in. Yeah, treat this basically as a hurricane. I will off extremely dangerous. Category 4, major hurricane Beryl. Hurricane Beryl is currently is currently beginning to affect Carriacou. again, but I reiterate, interior room of the low sturdy building, unless you live in a very search-prone area, because then if you're in an interior room, if I were to guess, okay, so I was going to say, if you are in an interior room and the storm surge comes in, well, then you are of course not gonna see the storm surge coming. Potentially speaking. So I something you should always watch for the storm surge. So again, I'm having an onset reporter from the main island of St. Vincent who is saying that they would estimate it's Category 1 force winds right now. My TV turned off. Brilliant. Announcements. Okay, so we have a breaking news. There's a hurricane watch for Jamaica now. So this is down the line. I'm going to talk about that though. Hurricane watch has been issued for Jamaica. Must have been already. So the Met Service of Jamaica will issue a hurricane watch for the island at 10 a.m. this morning. This means the conditions associated with the hurricane are possible within 48 hours. Hurricane Beryl has now entered the Eastern Caribbean, and Jamaica is a threat of impact on Wednesday this week. So, I saw Twitter here on screen briefly. And new updates come out. Beryl is now at wind speeds of 140 miles per hour, 220 kilometers per hour. So it has further strengthened, although still some ways to go, according to the official information, before reaching Category 5 intensity. Nevertheless, this is, of course, still an extremely dangerous Category 5 hurricane. At 11 a.m. AST, 1500 UTC, it was located at 12.4 degrees of northern latitude, 61.3 degrees of western longitude, about 35 miles, 55 kilometers northeast of Grenada, and about 15 miles, 25 kilometers southeast of Carriacou Island. Maximum sustained winds, as I said, were 140 miles per hour, 220 kilometers per hour. Present movement was west-northwest, or 285 degrees magnetic heading at 20 miles per hour, 31 kilometers per hour. Minimum central pressure 956 millibars, 28.23 inches of mercury. That's not. How dare I use Kai's Chandra's screenshot on accident? If anybody is So yeah, I questioned earlier whether it's gonna make landfall, and it is definitely making landfall on Carriacou imminently. In fact, radars behind probably already made landfall on the island of Carriacou, based on the latest radar data. Yeah, like satellite data. So now it's time for me to change the information according to the latest data. Completed retrieving active missions. That hurrying under the upper reserve. Yeah, maximum sustained service, maximum service winds 149 knots. Yo, maximum 30-second wind, 130.8 knots. That is unreal. Yeah, I was gonna update the position update. It's 140 miles per hour now. The pressure has dropped to 956 millibars. Actually, it was already 956 millibars, and the rest has not changed. Okay, and I'll also update the scroller. Bear with me as I do that. I'm not sure if it has been Jamaica, sure, but it has been 10 AM see it, but that will be just made another observation. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. The eyewall is so thick. Jeez. And I mean, it's not actually. It's actually fairly compact eyewall still. Now has 104 mile per hour recon. It's coming from recon. Yeah, that's what I brought up earlier. And in fact, let me pull up the recon graphic here. They went through and they found, yeah, SFMR winds of 149 knots. And the eyewall friggin' Beryl here. And I'm putting this up on stream. There you go. This is where we're taking this information from. We're taking it straight from the Hurricane aircraft. But I need to correct our dear contributor. Oh, I can't even see it. There you can see it right there. But that's not how you do this. We need to weigh the SFMR winds against the flight level winds. So what we do need to do, unfortunately, it's not that easy. And in order to do that, we need to have the exact flight level range I'm going to take from cyclonic WX. Not updated yet, but flight level winds, where it appears about exact wind. Flight level winds were about 130 knots thereabout. So if we weigh those were still 700 millibar flight level winds. So that is a 0.9 conversion. We can already tell 130 times 0.9. So flight level winds will indicate surface level winds of about 117 knots. So we see considerable discrepancy here between the SFMRs and the surface winds, and it will be 133 knots. So if we did this the proper way, which will be very interesting. Probably gonna have a drop sonde in the eye as well. In the eye wall, I mean. Flight level winds. Then we'll have a drop sonde in the northeastern eye wall. So that will be interesting. Flight level winds, however, still indicate surface winds of only 117 knots. An average of these two values indicates an intensity of about 135 knots. 35 knots. But yeah, I'll probably have a drop sonde ready any moment now. Drop sonde data will tell us a little bit more. Again, I cannot reemphasize again that it's not as easy as to just say the SFMR winds, because remember, the SFMR winds are not measured; they're estimated based on a complicated method involving the foaming of the sea surface from the waves and the microwave reflection. So it's not a perfect method. It's not a perfect science. As major hurricane Beryl begins to make landfall on the island of Carriacou. The hurricane hunters found non-suspect SFMRs of 149 knots. SFMR estimated surface winds of 149 knots. However, flight level winds indicate surface winds a lot lower. I should actually try and see what exactly the flight level winds were. The exact flight level winds were about 130 knot flight level winds. Lower so flight level winds 100 about 130 knots. Lower times 9 times 0.9 equals 170 knots. Actually, I should convert all these values to miles per hour, shouldn't I? Actually, no, I'm going to convert them to kilometers per hour. 245 kilometers per hour. 130 knots, about .40 kilometers per hour indicate I want to re-emphasize that it's not 200. It's not 200 and was it 275 kilometers per hour at this point? At least not verified. The drop sonde is that as well. I'm gonna lose my. I guess the. Family-friendly word will be my skibbity. I'm gonna lose God, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'll lose my frick. Can you say that? I guess you have to be able to say that. Before I release this twice, if you'll bear with me one more time, I need to check something in my endless pursuit of journalistic integrity. Has there been the drop sound yet? No. So what I'm posting is still good information. Again, questions, concerns, testimonies. Discussion. Extrapolate first is now 951 millibars, by the way. So that will be quite high for a category 5. It will be certainly too high for winds of 275 kilometers per hour. There. Oh yeah, I will. So landfall has probably occurred. So, let me look in the chat first. And that's surface level. Yes, so again, to clear up some of the confusion, the 149 knots were measured at the surface. The measures are wrong, but they were estimated at the surface based on the SFMR instrument on the airplane, which uses the reflection of microwave light or microwave radiation from the sea surface to estimate the amount of foaming, to then estimate the amount of waves and their size, to then estimate the wind speeds. It's a marvel of modern science. And that is, again, an estimated measure. The flight level winds at 700 millibar, as I said, 130 knots. That is, I just tweeted it out, and now forgot about it again. That is about 130 knots is about 240 kilometers per hour. So you convert that down to the surface, you would come out at only about 215 kilometers per hour. So again, as I said, and then if you were to do an average of these two values, you would come out at about 130 knots, I believe. 117 times. So wait, 130 times 0.9. It's not 130 times 0.9. Or 17, yeah, if you average those out, you would get about 133 knots, which is 245 kilometers per hour. And again, we average these out because none of the two methods that they use are perfect. On the one hand, you have the SFMR winds, which are estimated at the surface based on science and scientifically proven techniques, but it's not a perfect science, you know. There's a margin of error to these measurements. Again, here you can see, I'm going to put it up on stream, so I want to take a screenshot of it for my Twitter handle. Oh my god, forgot that's not how it works. This is how it works. But yeah, and so that is kind of the approved methods, all fine, but it's not 100% accurate. So you'll always need to take those. I don't know where. Oh, there it is. I already had it. Okay, so yeah, in the flight level bands, we do a conversion on these based again on scientific data with the averages or as a rule of thumb. And again, it depends on mixing ratios and whatever we estimate based on those service winds are. And usually, National Hurricane Center will average those out. Actually, a new update right now for Beryl, right? Yeah. So Beryl is now high in category 4, winds of 150 miles per hour, 240 kilometers per hour, minimum sailor pressure. So yeah, it was 240 kilometer per hour at landfall, according to National Hurricane Center, which is slightly higher, I believe, than the average. The average that I just said, the average was 246, actually slightly lower. So National Hurricane Center, again, leaning on the lower end of what those data allow for. And that's what they usually do, and that's fine. But yeah, it was not a Category 5 either rate. So yeah, hurricanes officially made landfall on the island of Carriacou. As in extremely dangerous. 240 kilometer per hour, 150 mile per hour, Category 4 on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. Now I'm going to have to take a screenshot from the National Hurricane Center. There you go. I gotta put this up on a stream in the moment. What they say. Give me one short second. Tropics WX, Major Hurricane Beryl. There you go. Okay. So now that should work. Let me verify. It does work, indeed it does. So, extremely dangerous Category 4 Beryl makes landfall on Carriacou Island. Air Force Reconnaissance aircraft finds Beryl stronger. Satellite imagery and Barbados radar data indicate that the eye of Beryl has made landfall on Carriacou Island at 11:10 a.m. AST. Data from an Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunter aircraft indicates that Beryl's maximum sustained winds have increased to 150 miles per hour, 240 kilometers per hour. The latest minimum central pressure estimated from reconnaissance data is 950 millibar, 28.05 inches of mercury. Current position at 11:10 a.m. AST, which is, again, 10 minutes ago, was about 12.5 degrees of northern latitude, 61.5 degrees of western longitude, about 0 miles, 0 kilometers south of Carriacou Island, about 30 miles, 50 kilometers northeast of Grenada. Maximum sustained winds, as I said, 150 miles per hour, 240 kilometers per hour. Present movement west-northwester, 285 degrees of magnetic heading at 20 miles per hour, 31 kilometers per hour. Minimum center pressure, 950 millibar, 28.05 inches of mercury. And now, excuse me, I need to have this pulled up while I change our text again. There you go. Just need to change the text to say that it's 150 miles per hour. The pressure is now 950 millibar. The heading has not changed. And there we go. Shouldn't there be a space? It looks so weird. This is the... So yeah, back to the radar. I'm not sure. Now maybe the time to ask chat. No, I think I messed up. No mind. Maybe an opportunity chat. Why you? Is it doing it? It's doing it. Okay. What do you prefer, the radar or the satellite link? What do you want to have on the stream? And if satellite, you want to have infrared or visible. A bit of interaction, give the viewers some power to decide this stream. Yes, I will probably keep this live stream up until the eastern eyewall of Major Hurricane Beryl has left Carriacou Island behind. And when the eyewall is fully passed through, it'll probably end this stream. Probably be another hour or so before the stream will end. And now, did I just? Maybe I did not. I should have. Okay. I'm going with satellite. No, I meant, so Mr. P says, I honestly think, regardless of pressure, Beryl as having sustained winds of 150 plus miles per hour should be rated as such. My comment was not directed at that argues against it being a category. I mean, it was, but it was not because the pressure was too low. I meant because, as I said, the SFMR winds are not exact, right? Neither are the converted flight level winds. So when we average these out, we get a value that is was 246 kilometers per hour. And again, that means it's not a category 5. At any rate, that's what I went with like slightly lower than that, but I'm not even sure. It has to do with them being bearish, because the thing you know is they go in increments of they like round the miles per hour and kilometer per hour values. So yeah. I'm not even sure if 245 kilometers per hour is 152 miles per hour. So yeah, it's just a conversion thing. It's the 150 miles per hour they have is actually 241. So yeah, it's probably just a rounding thing that it went down to 240 kilometers per hour. Will go into the record books as the not value anyway, because that's what the meteorologists behind the scenes use. Now, in classic ADHD fashion, I went off the rails again. What I was going to say is, when you have all the different recon data, you have the flight level winds, you have the SFMRs, you may be having the dropsonde data, estimated data from the dropsonde. Probably zoom out. That's too far. Zoom in. bear with me as I adjust the flutter accordingly. Because I'm not. Oh, look at that eyewall lightning. Oh, yeah, that is a lot of eyewall lightning. That was an of astonishment because that's a lot of eyewall lightning. Like this thing is going ham. Okay, and now loop. Look at that eyewall lightning. That is incredible. That's an incredible amount of eyewall lightning right there. Yeah, Ryan's was a team member. He was the only one who spoke, so we're going with that. Again, can only remind folks. Oh my god, in classic ADHD fashion, I still not finished my thought. I was gonna say, if you have all of those different points of that, you have the flight level winds to converted ones, you have the SFMRs, you possibly have drops on that as well, which is basically a reverse weather balloon. National Hurricane Center has all these different estimates of the wind, but they all have their own little problems. Only one of them is a direct actual measurement from the ground that's a drops on, and that, well, there's a severe undersampling issue. You have that the wind can be only like 240 kilometers per hour in one part of the eye wall. Like there's just like that undersampling is an issue in any way, right? Because the eye wall is not just a point, but the aircraft, either on its flight path with its instruments or with the drops on at the surface, can only measure this one point, right? So National Hurricane Center has all this wind data, which is imperfect, and then they have to decide on an intensity. And in order to do that, they will consult the pressure, and they will look at the pressure, and it will go, the pressure is only 950 millibar, and those wind data, as I said, those are ambiguous, so they could allow for a Category 5, but it could also allow for a Category 4 in certain instances, or just like could allow for 230 versus a 215 kilometer per hour Category 4. And then the National Hurricane Center may look at the pressure and go, actually, the pressure is only is only 950 millibar, which is high for Category 5. So that would maybe make the National Hurricane Center go, probably isn't the Category 5, and then we go with the lower end of what the wind data would allow for. So that is what I meant with the pressure is too high for, quote unquote, too high. Which Beryl is still small, Beryl is still compact. The problem with this zoomed invisible floater is, so another question, want to have the visible, the zoomed in one just focusing on the eye, or the larger zoomed out one? This one I have to manually refresh. So the one from top of the tip is it refreshes automatically. Again, questions, comments, concerns, anything, testimonies, in the chat, and I will answer them at some point. Actually, let's switch our radar loop to the, we'll zoom down one for a moment here. I need to readjust the photo here. Yeah, this is the zoomed out picture of this incredible hurricane. I mean, look at this structure, and you can now see the, oh my god, the cirrus level alpha. You see these feathery white clouds fanning out in all quadrants. Upper level outflow fanning out into all 4 quadrants in every direction. That's the ugliest arrow ever. Actually, it's not, surprisingly enough, the least it's fanning out is to the northwestern quadrant, but it's also fanning out some in that direction. That is the hallmark of a rapidly intensifying major hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson scale. The fact that the outflow is fanning out in all directions, this upper level cirrus is scared by the upper level winds flowing out of this hurricane, and the air is sucked into the bottom into the updrafts, and it's propelled back out the top. And when you see this fanning out into all four quadrants to at least some degree, that is the hallmark of a rapidly intensifying, unrelenting major hurricane. This only happens, in fact, as I said, it's actually a bit less so on the northwestern quadrant. It doesn't even need to be in all four quadrants. A rule of thumb, or one rule of thumb, one way to detect rapid intensification is usually said that if you have cirrus level outflow fanning out in at least 3 out of 4 quadrants, you should consider the possibility of rapid intensification being in progress. Cirrus, currently reading out loud and posting, cirrus level outflow fanning out in all 4 quadrants as Beryl continues to rapidly intensify. So, again, I can only reiterate, questions, concerns, comments, anything in the chat, and if you hang around long enough, I will respond. I love nerding out about meteorology, so even if the question is very deep into the weeds, I'll try to answer it. This one I should clarify, I'm not actually a meteorologist, but I would say I know my stuff around these cyclones. So what I was trying to say is there may be some stuff I don't know, and if I don't know, I will say I don't know the answer, but I will try to answer every question to the best of my abilities. It can even be, I mean, maybe we should try to stay focused on Beryl, but if you have a general answer about like some technical stuff, ideally something that at least relates to Beryl. Although Beryl is doing some pretty textbook stuff now, so if you have any tropical cyclone question in general, you probably can apply it to Beryl. And again, while I'm kind of stalling here, trying to prepare a tweet for my personal Twitter account, as maybe be a good point to again say that the people of Carriacou are going through some very, very rough times right now, and again, I'm not a Christian, I'm not religious in any way, so I don't pray. But if you are of the praying type, if you are religious in any way, probably, again, I don't care what religion you are, what ethnicity you are, but again, whatever religion you are, if you believe in a God, I suppose, and believe that is a God that answers prayers, then it's a long way of saying if you feel like praying, pray. Actually, if you're religious and you don't feel like praying, you should probably still pray. For the people of Carriacou, for the people of Grenada, the main island, for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, because they are going through very, very dangerous, life-threatening situation. And if you believe in the power of prayer, then there can be few people on Earth right now that can need prayers more than those than the people of Carriacou. Visible satellite imagery shows that Beryl is having cirrus level outflow fanning out into at least 3 out of 4 quadrants, which tends to be a hallmark of rapid intensification. This is as lightning has now become more persistent and widespread within the eye wall. And lightning has now become more persistent and widespread within the eye wall. Again, both usually hallmarks of rapid intensification. In my quest for journalistic integrity, I'm going to replace the word usually, both often, hallmarks of ramification. Usually a bit of a tall claim. Is often a hallmark of rapid intensification. So I'm about to look in the chat. So if you have any burning questions, comments, concerns, whatever, now is the time to post it. And now you have your chance. Something a Category 5 is... No, wait. Buzzsaw hurricane. Yeah. Kind of, that's true. Yeah, it's having kind of this buzzsaw look to it. We usually know from typhoons in the Pacific. I think something a Category 5 is very possible. I wouldn't be surprised it's already achieved that. Yeah, looking at the outflow panning out like this. It's usually that's again, it's not rapid intensification, but it's still rapidly intensifying and making a run at Category 5. At least after Grenadines, there's no more places in the line, in the firing line, at least for the next 24 to 40 hours. So it's true. And the Eastern Caribbean tends to be not very friendly to hurricanes. Eastern Caribbean is often considered a tropical cyclone graveyard, a place where storms go to die. So that, because that is a couple of reasons why wind shear tends to be strong there, and also there is something called the tropical easterly lull jet, which is basically the trade winds tend to pick up in this basin, so or in this part of the basin, and that tends to impart unfavorable shear on tropical cyclones. Incidentally, something models often struggle to pick up on fully. So this will be very interesting. It's a Category 5. Shear is lower in the Eastern Caribbean than it usually is around this time of the year. It'll be very interesting to see what happens. I guess we can talk to how now Carriacou is getting hammered by the eastern side. The eastern side is a stronger one of the hurricane. I'm gonna change the scroller here. After any storm surge. And extremely dangerous. Category 4 Beryl has made landfall. On Carriacou Island. Threatening winds and storm surge are ongoing. So, yeah. And maybe there's a good point to drink some water before I embark on the final sprint of this stream. I'm not sure how the weather is where y'all are. But for those in the northern hemisphere, it's probably summer right now, so follow my example and hydrate. Don't dehydrate. I probably didn't hydrate enough during this stream, to be quite frank. We're trying to correct me nerd emoji saying peak wind should be gust on the Discord. I'm like, peak winds is an ambiguous statement, which can mean both things. What I was saying is you should probably look, as I just already mentioned, the firing line. Oh, being in the firing line. I'm gonna look at the chat one more time. Again, questions, concerns. Them in the chat, and I will try to answer them as best as I can. What I was gonna do is I was gonna say maybe a time to discuss what lay ahead for Beryl, what the National Hurricane Center is forecasting for this storm to do in the coming days. Okay, let me see. Perfect. Okay, cone is already well centered. Good. Okay, so right now, this is the latest advisory, which is advisory 12, which is 11 a.m. AST. It's not that long ago. See, the National Hurricane Center has it maintaining a major hurricane until 8 p.m. on Tuesday, is tomorrow. And then it's weakening because, again, the Eastern Caribbean, not very favorable. There's a bit of a trough in here as well. Not like this. Trough's not like this. So there's some shear here from that trough. A trough being an upper low. It's just going to impart some southwesterly flow over the system. And because the winds, with some southwesterly flow aloft over the system, and because the winds are out of the south and west, because the winds are out of the east at the surface, and that will impart some wind shear on the system. Wind shear being difference of wind speed and direction with height. So it's weakening then. It's only a hurricane by the time it reaches Jamaica. We reach Jamaica sometime around Wednesday afternoon local time. And then on this forecast, I lost my mouse cursor. On this forecast, it will continue into the Bay of Campeche. It will make landfall on the Yucatan as a hurricane at 8 a.m. on Friday. and then it goes into the Bay of Campeche. And this forecast currently, and this has been the trend on the model guidance recently, has the Bay of Campeche coast of Mexico. So right now it looks like the Gulf Coast will be spared of this hurricane, but I wouldn't count on that. The models can still trend the other way, partially because of these storms are very strong, rift further north, that has Jamaica. Yeah. So that's the kind of, but so far it's something that interests in Jamaica, Yucatan, the Bay of Campeche, coast of Mexico, and to a lesser extent, people in Hispaniola should watch as it approaches. Actually, I did not check what's the dropsonde like that they had. Because they had a dropsonde probably. That will solve it. Northeastern Iowa, dropsonde. 94 knots at the surface, and winds continue not filter properly. This is, again, I show this. This is dropsonde data. And you can see here, very interesting, the surface level winds are only about 94 knots on this dropsonde, which is, again, a reverse weather balloon. This was made on the past where they found those 149 knots as from our estimated surface winds. But you can see the wind speed of the lowest 500 meters estimated is, a mean wind is 142 knots. Mean wind of the lowest 150 meters is 131 knots. And what's going on here is that oftentimes the winds don't filter down to the surface quite well. There's some mixing issues going on. It's quite common, especially after hour replacement cycles, that the mixing is not quite there in some parts of the eye wall. What the National Hurricane Center usually does in these cases, I'm pretty sure they've done for this one, is that they take the estimate, the mean wind of the lowest 150 meters or so instead to base their estimate off of. And that's what they probably did in this case as well. Now, change this all around. So again, questions, concerns in the chat while I'm still here. I'm not going to be here for so much longer, as I said. Or we see the view count is going down anyway. I said I will be here until the eye wall leaves Carriacou. So while I'm still here, put your comments, concerns, testimonies, questions in the chat. I'll answer them. How about ACE, accumulated cyclone energy from Beryl as of now? Is a good question that I will try to answer. Although I can't find an up-to-date source, so I will not try to answer it. So this is as of 12 Zulu today, according to .pia.top. Beryl has accumulated about 8 ACE points so far for this season. So it's currently 8 ACE points. And I can also show on the stream what Vincent leaves us as in terms of statistics for this season. So far, we were in bottom rank for this early season. As you can see here on this graphic, usually there does not tend to be a lot of activity in June, May, which is why it's fine that those months have been relatively quiet up to Beryl. But the ace graph is now shot up. Shut up? Did I just say shut up? Shot up quite a bit. It's skyrocketing basically as soon as Beryl arrived. And now we are already at 6th place for accumulated cyclone energy due to Beryl in total. In total, we have over 9.24 ace points. Only 5 seasons up to this point have, since 1951, been higher at this time of the year. Those being 1957, 2012, 1968, 1966, and 1951. We already have more ace points at this point of the year than 2005, 2024, or 2017. And yeah, so we are very much in the upper echelon of ace values right now. Let me check in how far we are away from no longer having a stream. I'm just a little bit away. Yeah, I'm hungry too. And here's the tweet. Oh, it looks like on stream right now. Looks terrible on stream. Going back to the visible solid loop. Okay, I'm just doing quite a bit. I don't want to mess with the window I have here too much. So this is the Vortex data message. This is basically a summary of their data. And as you can see down here, the maximum estimated surface winds over the rest of Mars 149 knots. Emphasis here is on estimated. Maximum flight level winds only 132 knots, which imply a lot lower. Owl closed, eye character circular diameter 18 nautical miles. Temperature outside of the eye 7 degrees Celsius. Temperature inside of the eye 18 degrees Celsius. That's a marked jump right there. That's what I found. I'm going to recon now on their way out. Yeah. It's now getting battered by the... Oh, God. Hello? I'm back at the satellite loop. The Beto's radar is having a bit of a skittle issue right now, I'm afraid. So again, the list of records Beryl has set is the earliest Category 4 in the Atlantic basin on record. It's the first June Category 4 recorded history. It's the strongest hurricane to make landfall in the Windward Islands in recorded history. Neither Allen, which is a Category 4, nor Ivan, which I think was a high in Category 3, made landfall. Highest landfall, I think, was some mid-range Category 3. The warmest ion record in the Atlantic. In total, I refuse to actually believe that. I didn't confirm any of these. Just knew that the first 4 of them are correct, and assumed the latter 4, the latter 2 are correct. Let's see. Strongest. New update from the National Hurricane Center, and nothing has changed. So, as I suspected, so we have a new update from the National Hurricane Center. There's something wrong with the stream now. National Hurricane Center has posted a new update, which you can. Is this the new update? Yeah, it is the new 12 p.m. AST Atlantic Summertime update. You can see on the screen here. Extremely dangerous Category 4 Beryl, producing catastrophic winds and live threatening storm surge in the southern Windward Islands. Beryl continues to produce catastrophic winds and live threatening storm surge in the Grenadine Islands, Carriacou Island, and Grenada. This is an extremely dangerous and live threatening situation. Residents should not leave their shelter and remain in place through the passage of these live threatening conditions. A weather station in St. Lucia recently reported a sustained wind of 58 miles per hour, 83 kilometers per hour. Another position update will be provided at 1 p.m. AST, 1700 UTC. Summary of 1200 p.m. AST, 1600 UTC. Location 12.5 degrees of northern latitude, 51.7 degrees of western longitude, about 15 miles, 20 kilometers west of Carriacou Island, about 30 miles, 45 kilometers north of Grenada. Maximum sustained surface winds 150 miles per hour, 240 kilometers per hour. Present movement west-northwester, 285 degrees at 20 miles per hour, 31 kilometers per hour. Minimum center of pressure 950 millibar, 28.05 inches of mercury. This is a mercury is just the easy measure. Nothing has changed. I didn't change anything on our little stream overlay here. Actually, yeah, good point. It's Marie made 165 mile per hour landfall on the Windward Islands. Often forget, Grenada is still in the Dominica is still in the Windward Islands. So that statement was wrong. I always forget that Dominica is in the Windward Islands. I always put Dominica and therefore Maria in the Leeward Islands. But of course, a good way to remember is that the islands that sort of curve north are the Leeward Islands. So yeah, it's the strongest hurricane to make landfall in the southern half of the Windward Islands in recorded history. That's always how I put it. How I put it in the past. The southern half of the Windward Islands, I arbitrarily decide is everything south of St. Lucia. Certainly everything south of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Certainly the strongest make landfall in this part of the Windward Islands. I'd say for hurricane purposes, Dominica might as well be in the Leeward Islands. And I fact-checked myself. Actually, I didn't. Someone else fact-checked, but... Again, questions, concerns, comments, roasts against me for forgetting that Dominica is in the Windward Islands. Put it in the chat and I will read it on the stream. Yes, if you roast me, I will read it out loud. No one puts anything in chat, so that's good. No one roasting me yet. I got a structure. Look, and actually, one cool thing I just noticed you can see on the on this loop is part of the diurnal cycle is, of course, that's nothing to do with the hurricane. It's part of the plants breathing. You see the cirrus right here over the northern part of South America. These little white pointy clouds, and what is there? A cirrus, but you can see the cirrus on the side close to the hurricane. All of the cirrus is streaming towards the hurricane. So all of the cirrus over South America, over sort of the Guyanas, that is currently caught in the inflow of major Hurricane Beryl. All of the cirrus streaming towards all this air. So currently, if anybody watching this happens to be in the Guyanas, just know that the air you're currently breathing is being sucked into this catastrophic heat engine of Hurricane Beryl to make it into kinetic energy in the form of wind. So you are currently breathing air that's soon going to end up in a category 5. Now someone said I thought Maria made example on Lear Islands. Actually, don't need to rely on others. So I'm anyway stalling for stuff to do, to say, to the hurricane. You can look at National Hurricane Center has a nifty map. Historic hurricane tracks. NOAA. Historic hurricane tracks from NOAA. And now we can put Maria. We can put Maria in here. Maria. There's a storm. Is there anything called Maria? So because the question was whether Maria made landfall in the Windward or the Leeward Islands. So I just I'm gonna put this up on stream right now. So this is the map from the National Hurricane Center from NOAA hurricane tracks, and indeed, the original fact check was correct. It made landfall on Dominica, which is, you can see live on stream while I Google it. Dominica is an island in the. It didn't say it here. Wikipedia. And there you see it. The original fact check was correct. Dominica is part of the Windward Islands. So Maria is the strongest hurricane landfall in the Windward Islands on record. So Maria made landfall in Dominica, which is the northernmost of the Leeward Islands. So Maria just about made its way into the record books that way. A lucky her. Again, questions, concerns, comments, roasts. The facts don't say something. Vsauce would say, which fact? Which fact? Should probably remove the junk here from the stream. Overlay. Actually, We can actually look at a few more hurricane tracks to put the history. Wikipedia has it in both ways. I didn't even notice that. Wait, hold on. It says they're part of the Windward Islands. It says it's also part of the Leeward Islands. Where does it say part of the Leeward Islands? Where's Wikipedia saying that? The British Leeward Islands. British Leeward Islands. Dominica is an island nation. Northernmost of the Islands. So it is sometimes considered the southernmost of the Leeward Islands. Oh my god. So some people say Dominica is on the Windward Islands. And some people are and say it's on the Leeward Islands. Okay. If it's apparently, according to the perennial source of the internet, which is Wikipedia, which as we all know is always accurate, could be part of both, and it's a matter of discussion, then I will say that it is part of the Leeward Islands, so that my original statement is correct. I did not spread misinformation, and in fact, it is the strongest landfall in the Leeward Islands and the Windward Islands, and because that also sounds cooler. So, so that's, as I said, put this into perspective and show why we do not consider Dominica part of the Windward Islands. So apparently we can. It's up to debate. This is all the hurricane tracks. They're a bit messy, but basically the orange color is the category 3. And here's Carriacou, right? This is the island just got landfall on by Beryl. And the strongest landfall was an unnamed hurricane in 1918, which struck Carriacou as a 60 knot tropical storm. That was the strongest landfalling hurricane on Carriacou. The strongest hurricane that possibly delivered a direct hit was Hurricane Janet of 1955, the strongest one possibly a direct hit, which of course later as I became a category 5 before striking the Yucatan Peninsula. And looking at this, there is precedent for these storms to enter Eastern Caribbean, weaken, and then re-strengthen again once they sort of pass the latitude of Dominica, Dominican Republic of Jamaica. Hopefully it does not emulate Janet. Let's hope for the sake of Belize and Quintana Roo, again butchered. So Janet was a category 3 when it passed just north of Carriacou. 90 knots, so this is significantly stronger. 90 knots. For those who do not understand knots, which I don't blame you for. No one out of meteorology and the naval field uses knots. It's 165 kilometers per hour, 105 miles per hour. Category 3 was the closest thing Carriacou ever received, and this is a whole another ball game. This is important for me. Category. Oh no, this is not the correct one. Category 5 hurricane Felix, of course, came landfall on Grenada as a category 1. So it's still not it. This is, oh my god. There is. Huh? Okay. Doesn't want to do it for me. And of course, if we zoom out even further, some of the historic hurricanes in this part of the world were Hurricane Ivan, which made just about missed landfall on Grenada as a category 3. And then if we go up north, and this is too far south, I wanted to talk about Hurricane Allen, so I can just type in here Allen. Allen 1980, which has so far been the strongest storm in the southern half of the Windward Islands. But it passed between St. Lucia and St. Vincent as a 115 knot category 4 hurricane. 115 knots, meaning 215 kilometers per 130 miles per hour. So it is the strongest ever in the Anyway, back to the visible satellite loop. And the Iowa is now beginning to leave Carriacou behind. Well, worst should be over for the people of Carriacou in terms of the winds soon. And yeah. Oh, the air, something like Vsauce will say, the air you breathe may end up in a Cat 4 hurricane. Yeah, it does. I'm so hungry. The view count steadily decreasing as soon as this passes fully through Carriacou, if I ever find out, because the Barbados radar was not, it's not trying to cooperate anymore. What does this even mean? 100, this is a, oh, that's why the Barbados Weather Service has a skill issue. Okay, that's good to know. A lot of demand on our website right now, so I don't blame them, but um, mm, 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 mm. Iowa lightning is still going on in the northeastern Iowa, so that is very, 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 very bad sign. And again, I said it before on Twitter and elsewhere. The part of the reason why this is the worst case scenario is I truly believe before the hour replacement, maybe Beryl had reached kind of a crescendo. Its intensity not really strengthening that much more, but now with this hour replacement, it sort of intensified a lot before reaching the island of Carriacou. And yeah, but when these cyclones intensify like this, they tend to be they tend to carry a bit more oomph. They tend to have the momentum on their side. Most people say they tend to hit harder. Most people having these storms say they tend to hit harder if they are a category, if they're a strengthening hurricane, if they're a weakening one or maintaining one. So that's bad. And so it's probably strengthening at this time with this eyewall lighting. I can't imagine it's not strengthening right now. Bit of a wobble you can see in the eye. Yeah, the eye just wobbled northward a little bit. Yeah, and I don't think that's, if you have this trochoidal wobble, as it's called, could be that it's an eyewall replacement cycle. I don't think it is. I think it's just having massive vortices in the eye. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. So yeah, and questions, concerns of the viewers should remain. Uh, if it's true that Beryl has winds over 170 miles per hour, that's truly a terrifying ordeal. Is Rico still in the storm? I don't think they are. Let me check, but I don't think Recon is still in the storm. I don't think they are. Because the last pass that they made is already one pass more than they usually do. Even remarked at the time, I'm gonna look at the infrared. But I may become a bit unstable now in the latest infrared frames. Uh, Or maybe it is not weakening anymore, question mark? Another hour replacement, question mark? I'm only bantering, I'm only speculating. Either way, if it's making hour replacement, here you see it here, the eye, kind of becoming a little bit stable, less stable in latest frames. Yeah, it doesn't matter if we have Carriacou, we're still probably needs an eye wall. Again, I can't say for certain because the Barbados radar has failed. Their website has failed, not their radar. God, the radar shouldn't fail. Transformers wins. Maybe the Barbados mothership doesn't have power anymore. I didn't consider that. I mean, they should have. The winds were not that strong in Barbados, but who knows? Maybe the radar truly is no longer there for us right now. Of course, still there, but you know what I mean. No, don't get distracted. Felix, don't get distracted. Look at Recon. Recon says it's still in the storm, but I don't see the plane anymore. Actually, no, Recon is still in there. And they're not heading on the Hurricane Hunters of the Air Force. They're really digging in there, but they're not gonna put up on stream here. So, damn, they're making a fourth pass through the center, which they sometimes do. So what they did here, so 4 passes is like usually the most that they are gonna do. I see some of the waves I just noticed crashing into La Saudadriel. Yeah, you see here is this latest update, position update from Recon. Recon is making one final pass through the center. So when they depart from it, I don't know where they depart from. I don't think part of the reason why they can't make 4 passes is that they position themselves to have a short flight towards Beryl. But yeah, they also probably packed their plane with all the fuel that they can't put in it, and now I'm gonna make 1/4 pass, and that should then be it. The 4th pass. They're approaching from the southeast side now, so we're not gonna have estimate of the strongest winds. Again, the strongest winds are in the northeastern eye walls we have so far seen, which is currently going through some of the islands north of Carriacou. Still, I believe. And so, but we're gonna get another pressure estimate, and we will see whether the pressures drop further. You can see here, while the hurricane hunters were in there, the pressures dropped from 960 to 950 millibars. So that's quite the steep drop in pressure. And we will see what the pressure is like now. Has this dropped even further since the last Recon pass? So yeah, Recon making one. For a final pass through the center of the southwest. Southeast, I mean. For a likely final pass. I don't know. Maybe they gotta do a 5th pass. Yeah. Shout out to the National Hurricane Center and the Air Force Reconnaissance and everybody who is making sure the people in the Caribbean anywhere to get the best data possible. Any Americans watching, please call your congressman or send them an email to give the National Weather Service more funding, not less. Because and the Air Force, I suppose, although only a fraction of the Air Force funding probably goes to this. So yeah. And questions, concerns, comments. I see Cryas is busy in the chat answering the questions too. So whenever I don't get to your question, Cryas probably will. I originally said I was going to only stream again more until a half past. I just don't even know what else I would do before dinner other than making a stream, and also I want to wait for Recon's final pass. So now the end for this stream is whenever Recon makes its final pass, or when the eye wall leaves Grenada behind, whatever happens. Grenada, Carriacou, which is part of Grenada, I suppose. Behind. Is the Barbados radar back? Barbados radar is very much back. I was now. So this is good news. You can see here on the stream, the eye wall is now leaving Carriacou behind. Those radar data is lagging behind. You see the time up here. Actually, you can't see the time, but the latest radar data is from about 1620 Zulu. Actually, no, that is spot on. The website even is so back. Not really. So intermittent. What's happening here? Oh no, none of the frames loading in again. But you saw it. You could see the eye walls. Oh god. Struggling. He's struggling. Yeah, so Carriacou. So Carriacou is going out to the eye wall, but if anybody from Carriacou is watching this, happens to be still watching this, or if anybody here happens to know someone from Carriacou, still, because the eye wall is gone through, it's not a time to go out. The duration of the National Center says you should be inside the duration of the storm, and that is until the hurricane wind field passes through. Komiya-san Salit damage in Carriacou from the impact of Hurricane Beryl. So there is some major damage on Carriacou. Oh yeah. Some of these houses have no roof. Yeah. Right here, it's just the image I was referring to. This house here has no roof anymore. Again, courtesy of Joshua Ortiz, who hopefully not storm chase or whatever. Anyway, yeah, I didn't mean to show this anyway. Accidentally opened it in this window because I have like one window over on here. One of my monitors and the other windows on the other monitor. His eye is showing some signs of collapse now on the very latest frames. And they're kind of on the southwestern side of the eye of the storm. Having some problems now. Very interesting to see where the pressure has dropped even further from where the National Center aircraft, that's not an Air Force aircraft, had it last time around. They're about to reach it. Expedition update. Last option, actually, you could say last option was more like 949 millibar because it was 950, it's 960 millibar at 6 knots. And usually the rule of thumb is you adjust these for the wind. So you subtract 1 millibar for every 10 knots of wind speed. And you round those up, you could say it's supposed to be 949 millibars, but it's 950 millibar. Very interesting to see what Recon finds on their most latest pass through the center of Major Hurricane Beryl. So the newest Recon pass, I'm waiting for that now. Pass through the center. Not waiting for the drop zone. Oh, the drop zone is gonna come out even later on. Yeah. Again, any questions, concerns, comments in the chat, so I have something to talk about while waiting for the drop zone to come in. So let's look at some objective estimates. ADT and ADT, 130 knots right now. Also, I can say a quick update on Chris. Chris has now dissipated, so I should actually take it off the graphic book. Santa Clara this morning was 119 knots. The print, 107 knots. Park, or is that an hour replacement? Yeah. Good to another hour replacement. Yeah, I can show this. It's probably gonna be. Actually, no. Let's actually do something else. Let's go OBS and go to this. There. So this is what I have here on this on the stream now. Is what's called MPerk. It's a method of okay. Oh, oops. This is not too zoomed in. Is MPerk, which is microwave based detection model replacement. And see, one of those models is still one of the two models, and this is the. I need to zoom in. I should try to read this. This is the the full model. The Helix. and it's quite high still. So maybe the weakness of the eye right now is to have another hour replacement cycle. But looking at the Barbados radar when it's not glitching out, there's some concentricity here. Yeah. Yeah, some very, very bad winds from the... Anyway, back to the... So it could be an hour replacement cycle soon. Let's see. Let's see what the future holds for Beryl. Let's actually switch things up a little bit. Go to True Color zoomed out floater. Yeah, it's actually I want to check with microwave images and produces to see whether I can see something. Microwave images are a great tool for meteorologists because they allow us to peer underneath the cloud tops. There's not been a recent microwave pass actually. Some earlier this morning. This is a newer pass. Yeah, I can see why. Okay, so going a bit of a this is a microwave image from Beryl. Oh God. Okay. Forgot that is what the... Okay. I need to do it this way then. So this is a microwave image. Again, microwave images allow us to peer underneath the cloud tops, which usually when you have these anvils, they obscure part of the storm. Now what you can see here is that there is... This is basically the structure underneath the cloud tops. You can see... There's this rainbow here. You can see you have... I don't have the drawing tool available here. I'm sorry. You have these rain bands coming around the center. There's a moat right here between the inner owl and the outer, and this outer band here is just becoming partially concentric around the eye. And this is basically what happens during an eyewall replacement, where usually the original eyewall forms when the primary rain band of that nascent tropical cyclone goes through the wraps into and then eventually around the low-level circulation center. And when that rain band wraps around the center, it forms what's called the eyewall, is the ring of deep convection of thunderstorm surrounds the eye. Yeah, and then our replacement happens is that there's a secondary rain band wraps around the center. As you can see here, partially wraps around the center. So if this completes all the way around, as in a rain band here, it would make a concentric ring. We have dual eye walls, and then one of them, the outer eye wall, tends to choke the inner eye wall, deprive it of its energy, and replace it eventually, and constrict back again. So as an owl replacement, those owl replacements tend to temporarily weaken the tropical cyclone, and it also increases wind field in size. So yeah, would not be surprised if it did an arrival replacement. I was going to zoom out view. You can see some of them mentioned a bit earlier in the stream. You can see a bit of those upper level westerlies. See this feathery clouds here, they stream off to the north and west. And Beryl is carried by the mid and low level winds, which come out of the east. So as that happens, it will impart some shear onto the system, and then will tend to weaken it. So that is something to keep an eye on. Time for me to watch, look in the chat again. Did I say the word watch? That's what happens. Ministry of Grenada has said Carriacou has been severely destroyed. It took a direct hit. Yeah, it did take a direct hit. It took a landfall, actually. Direct hit defined as hurricane force wind field striking the island, and this was landfall. And the national Air Force hurricane hunters have just penetrated the center of a major hurricane Beryl from the southeast. They found on the southeast had final moments of at least 110 knots. So far, the extract pressure is currently kind of glitching out. That level winds of 110 knots by the NOAA Hurricane Hunters. 110 knot flat level winds is what they found so far. Extrapolated pressure is no longer with us. They found massive Mars in the southeastern quadrant of 109 knots. Already. It should be the second strongest quadrant of the hurricane that it is in right now. Interestingly, the estimate drops on pressure. It says 949.4 millibar. Yeah. Peak. That WL means. Yeah. So. I just want to see. I think the stream's about to end. We are down to. We're up to 11 viewers again. Hey, yo. Actually, I just realized. And the way I cropped it, I think you could barely see the little drawing that I made, so and you can barely see the upper level westerlies in the top left corner. Upper level southwesterlies actually. Top left corner. And Recon's merged on the other side. Recon just found 140 knot SFMRs in the southeastern quadrant. That's mildly concerning. So this is the mildly concerning note I'm probably going to end the stream on. I don't think I'm going to wait for the recon data. And one of the things, for the dropzone data, one of the things that I immediately noticed is they found an extrapolated pressure of 945 millibar. That indicates the pressure dropped even further, and they found the SFMRs of 140 knots now. Flight level winds right here, so only about 125 knots. So the flight level winds was actually at the 700 millibar flight level, not really in line with the surface winds that they're measuring here. It's interesting. It's interesting, isn't it? Man, look at that temperature spike. Gonna drag the thing upwards. So look at this temperature spike. They approach the center, and outside of it, the flight level temperature was like 9 degrees Celsius, and then it jumps up to like 19 degrees Celsius. But that temperature spike even more pronounced now. So all indications are that between the last pass and this pass, so since within the last hour and a half, the storm has strengthened even further. Like all indications are that it has strengthened even further, and it's probably now on the cusp of being a Category 5 on the Safford-Simpson scale. It's even getting to the point where, I mean, this is from the northeastern eye wall. This is from the southwest. Look at this. This is the weaker eye wall. So at the very least, we're probably having 150 knot winds still in the northeastern eye wall. So yeah, and that's why I'm gonna end the stream on Beryl on the cusp of being a Category 5 on the Safford-Simpson scale. Actually, not quite ending it. I'm going to one last time say if you have any questions, concerns, or comments. I started the stream now 3 hours ago, over 3 hours ago. So if you have anything to say, now is your last chance to say it. For me to still read it, for me to respond to it. Give anybody watching about 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then I will end the stream. But yeah. Let's again, Beryl. Now probably, I mean, the latest update from the National Hurricane Center was already having it at an intensity that was actually, I should maybe wait with ending the stream until the next position. I'm pushing the end of the stream out further, but I don't even know what I would do with my time at the moment. It has a 240 kilometers per hour, so yeah, it does indicate the storm is still strengthening at the moment. That's why the winds. See, this is not. It's not correct. Surface wind. Yeah. But yeah. Well, the last position was already 240 kilometers per hour on its latest path through the pass through the center of Major Hurricane Beryl. The Hurricane Hunters, Beryl, the hurricane hunters found estimated surface winds of near 140 knots in the weaker southeastern eye wall. Flight level winds still don't quite jive with that X-trap pressure. X-trap pressure dropped another 5 knots, and core temp anomaly rose further compared to pressure dropped another 5 millibar as well. Beryl now surely on the cusp of category 5 status. So yeah. Now I'm eagerly awaiting the newest update from the National Hurricane Center. You know, I said questions, concerns, comments. In the chat, there are none. So... Oh yeah, sorry, it's not there correctly. Okay, one of my webcams. Either it's got a line or this one is got a line. It's a beautiful day in Santa Lucia now. This was never in the direct firing line of this hurricane anyway. Let's say eye stabilizing again a little bit here in the latest frame. Position updates come out any moment now. They have the new recon data. So yeah, with those pressures having dropped even further, and the SMR winds in the southeastern eye wall also being around 140 knots, and the temperature anomaly should have risen even further. Temperature anomaly in the eye, the warmer the eye, the stronger hurricane tends to be. We're talking about an anomaly here that is very much hallmark of a category 5 on the Saffir-Simpson scale. Actually, let me check one thing. I just had a thought come through my mind, which is check for the presence of dual wind maxima and the recon data. Because if there are none, there's not really any. I don't really see an hour replace cycle imminent. I usually have a second wind maxima. At flight level, yeah, there's a flight level, there's a second wind maxima. I'm gonna recon data here. Let's see. Look at this. This graph up here, the top left graph. See this? Right here? Secondary wind max right there. It's not... Interesting is that the flight level winds on Northwest side were somewhat stronger, 125 knots. That's another weirdness. Right here, there is some indication of dual wind maxima, but the dual wind maxima is only, this is fresh data, right? This is data from like a few minutes ago, and it was only on the eastern side. So this indicates to me that there is an idle replacement cycle coming in the near future. See, this wind max was also there on the northeastern side earlier on, but there's a very clean graph on the western side. It continues to be very clean. Actually, no. How is it on the northeast side and northwest side now? Northwest, northeast. So there's currently, yeah, that would sort of indicate that the microwave image is still accurate. Nope. New. No. No new update. There is a new update. There's an AST right now. I just 1 p.m. So the new 1 p.m. update is out. Let's see what they say. Let's maintain the intensity. Okay. So again, last thing. You know. So yeah, this is the latest update from the National Hurricane Center. It's not there on the website yet. Maybe, I don't know. This is taken from data server. But so it says catastrophic winds and life-threatening storm surge continue in the southern Windward Islands. Beryl continues to produce catastrophic winds and life-threatening storm surge to the Grenadine Islands, Carriacou Island, and Grenada. This is an extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation. Residents should not leave their shelter and remain in place through the passage of these life-threatening conditions. A weather station in Grenada Airport recently reported a sustained wind speed of 92 miles per hour, 148 kilometers per hour, and a gust of 123 miles per hour, 194 kilometers per hour. A weather station in Santa Lucia recently reported a sustained wind speed of 52 miles per hour, 83 kilometers per hour, and a gust of 63 miles per hour, 102 miles per hour, kilometers per hour. This is the last hourly tropical cyclone update on Beryl. The next intermediate advisory will be issued at 2 p.m. AST, 1800 UTC. Summary of 1 p.m. AST, 1700 UTC. Information is location 12.6 degrees of northern latitude, 61.9 degrees of western longitude, about 30 miles, 45 kilometers west-northwest of Carriacou Island. Carriacou Island, about 35 miles, 60 kilometers, 60 kilometers. West-northwest of Grenada, maximum sustained winds, 150 miles per hour, 240 kilometers per hour. Present movement west-northwest of 285 degrees at 20 miles per hour, 31 kilometers per hour. Minimum central pressure, 946 millibars, 27.94 inches of mercury. So yeah. And this last part tells us you already took the last recon that into account. I still don't think it's a category 5. And probably then it will not be because, as I said, the eye showing some signs of weakening. Recon will now surely have made their last pass. So I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna get a postseason. Anyway, one last time I'm gonna ask if there's any questions, concerns. This is for sure now. The end of the stream is approaching. Maybe gonna make it to the top of the hour, actually. I keep delaying it. Yeah, at any rate, now is your last chance to put your concerns in the chat, or questions in the chat, or comments, roasts, compliments, whatever you want to put in the chat. Want me to read, want me to answer. I'll let this out of the loop for one last time. And so, yeah. I think apparently no one wants to put anything in the chat. Alright. Then we'll probably do it again, staying here on for 3 minutes until top of the hour. And then for real, on God, gotta end this stream and hope my boss is happy with what I have done. So the current storm information is no longer active. I'm not gonna bother changing it again because we're approaching the end of this stream. Me not being able to speak anymore is either a sign that I'm having a stroke or it's a sign that we should call it a day, or I should call it a day. So yeah. Major and Beryl now moving into the Eastern Caribbean. The eye becoming a little bit more unstable. The storm may be showing some signs of weakness. But it's been an incredible storm. Well, it has propelled us to new heights. And it, in terms of ACE. And I gotta want to remind everybody in the Windward Islands that invest 96L. This is a good thing to end the stream on. Just gonna have to make it quick. Good thing to end the stream on would be to look a bit more into the future. National Hurricane Center. Oh, this is not the correct thing. Okay, this is not the correct thing either. There's the correct thing. So there's invest 96L, which currently has a 60% chance of formation. If it does, it's gonna follow on a very similar track. It has been downgraded recently, but if it still forms, showers and thunderstorms continue in association with an area of low pressure located over 1,000 miles east-southeast of the Windward Islands. Environmental conditions appear marginally conducive for additional development of the system, and a tropical depression could form by the middle part of this week, while it moves generally eastward at 15 to 20 miles per hour across the central and western tropical Atlantic. And residents of the Western Antilles should monitor the progress of this disturbance. So again, a 60% chance in the next 5 days. If you are in these same areas that have been hit by this storm, you see it follow a very similar path. You need to pay close attention to the progress of this disturbance and see whether it does anything. You see here it's kind of become a little bit disorganized. But yeah, that will do it for today. I gotta look one last time in the chat if anybody posted something, which does not appear to be the case. And that, I thank everyone who is still watching for watching. Have a good one. Stay safe. If you are in these parts, monitor the progress of this disturbance. And yes. Bye.